further up the head that he works, the wider the sections become, especially over the corners of the ear area into that roundness of the head. Now what he's going to do is start to round off the shape with the cutting line as he works up the head and into the corners of the ear area. So basically what he's creating is a round horizontal shape and a graduated shape vertically, which is getting longer and longer towards the top, very subtly. Remember, those disconnected panels on the side areas behind the ear are going to be left towards the end of the haircut for personalization and creativity. What's really important is as Stephen keeps working up each and every section, he's working with lots of control, working with the small teeth of the comb, and as the sections get wider and wider, each and every section will get split into smaller subsections as he works up the head shape. Once Stephen reaches the point of the occipital bone area, we can clearly see that if we were to cross-check that on the vertical axes, we're creating a very slight triangular shape where we're building up that graduated line from shorter at the bottom to longer at the top. If you're happy with the graduated shape and everything is looking clean, then you can keep moving on up the head shape, continuing to work through with the horizontal sections. Now Stephen has finished that whole zone that he's been working on, he's got the fringe to start working through. This is where he wants to continue to work with low elevation to get a nice heavy fringe through the front. His cutting line is going to be nice and straight because he wanted to get longer pieces on the side to have a nice connection for the side zones. So he's going to over direct everything to the front and keep his fingers nice and flat, using the point of the scissor to cut for lots of softness and texture around the perimeter of the cutting line. You can see that Stephen's working with a little bit of tension for that cleanliness, but not using too much. So he's not pulling too much at the root. The last thing we want to do is have a overreactive fringe area which reacts negatively when he lets that go. So minimum tension through the fringe is all that is required for the most part. Stephen's going to be standing on the front shoulder of the client, bringing the hair forward, working with clean elevation and control through the fingers, working with a shorter cutting line at the top of the line and gradually getting longer towards the bottom of the cutting line. This means that he's creating a short to long style through the cheekbone area, which is going to help frame the face and really give off that edgy Chelsea look through the front area. Once that front area has been cut and shaped, Stephen's now going to move the hair around and start to see how it reacts at that length and shape. He's going to release all of the clips, including the ones from the back where that heavy disconnection is, which he hasn't cut yet, and start to see how the hair looks as it gets moved around and texture starts getting increased. Stephen hasn't actually added any product into the hair yet, as he wants to dry this very naturally and soft, which will allow him to then go in and see how the shape sits in a natural state, because he wants to heavily personalize the haircut with different tools and techniques. So if he has some product in there, this could get in the way of him being able to do that to the best of his ability. So he's going to keep the hair completely soft and natural without any stickiness or residue from any type of product at the moment. Stephen's going to start personalizing the haircut using the texturizing scissors, working with some scissor over comb technique. This is because he wants to get that really raw effect with this texturizer scissor, which will allow him to really soften up all of the graduation that he's created in a very cool way. The way that this will look is really soft, working through the edges of the hair shaft. Because we're working with quite straight and dense hair, you really want to create as much softness through a lot of the graduation as possible. And if you were to try and do this with your normal scissor, it would probably take you twice as long. So this is where the thinning scissor really comes into play when you're working with this type of hair texture and you want to create a really soft result through the graduation where you can work this scissor over comb technique. Stephen's now going to just smoothen out the hair and polish the look with a straightening iron, which will give him that really nice sleek finish through the shape that he wants to see. He's going to be working that through all of the extended length in towards the front and also at the back area. After that, he can then play around with any styling product to just jazz the shape up and create more of an editorial look for this really cool, unique haircut. Really, there hasn't been much product or manipulation in the hair at all to get this final look. Thanks for watching this haircutting tutorial, guys. We hope that you've enjoyed watching the Chelsea cut remade by Stephen Bezzazzi, and we hope to see you on the next video.